The four steps of the Islamic wedding process. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem. The four main steps in the Islamic wedding process are summarized below. This is just a high-level summary. The details of each step will be covered in the following chapters of this textbook in this course, inshallah. The first step, which is the most important step, and it is the required step, and that's the nikah, the official marriage agreement, also called Katbul Kitab in Arabic. And there are five pillars of nikah that must be done correctly for the nikah to take place. We will talk about the details of those five pillars, inshallah, in the next chapter. Step number 2 is Zifaf, or the Bridal Preparation and Escort. It's a women's party. And of course, children are also allowed. However, men are not allowed. And in the party, they celebrate, they sing songs, they do fun activities, they adorn and prepare and escort the bride to her new home. The escort part can be done by the husband or any member of her family. It all depends on your culture. There are specific details and guidelines we will talk about in the chapter on Zifaf. The next step, step number 3, is the consummation, al-bina, making love for the first time. This is when the bride has moved to her new home. And there are specific guidelines and details and rules. We will talk about those in the dedicated chapter in this textbook, in this course, inshallah, on consummation. The fourth and final step is the walima, the wedding banquet. And again, there are specific guidelines, details, and rules that we will talk about later in the specific chapter on walima. After the nikah, nikah, as I said, is the required and most important part of the wedding process. There is no marriage if there is no nikah or if it's not done correctly. That's why it's very important to make sure that the nikah is the first step and it's done correctly, as we will go over in the 5 pillars of nikah. After you have done the nikah, it's encouraged, it's sunnah to follow the order of the next 3 steps as listed. In other words, do zifaf next, and then consummation next, and walima at the end. However, if for any reason you wish to change it, you wish to change the order around a little bit, that's fine. You may do that. Both the husband and wife may mutually agree to change the order of the next 3 steps, or maybe they wish to combine some of these steps into one event. They may do that. There is some flexibility so that they can meet their requirements, their preferences, or cultural norms or customs. Let's look at the 4 steps from the legal standpoint. A nikah, the most important step, is legally required. And again, the details will be covered in 5 pillars of nikah. A zifaf is culturally required, but legally it's just permissible, it's optional. Optional. In other words, if you skip this step, you're not doing anything haram. However, if you want to make your wife happy, make sure you do this step. You should have a good reason to not do this step. And again, there are guidelines. The next step, al-bina, is also legally required. However, they can mutually agree to delay it. Both must agree. If one of them wants it and the other one does not want it now, they want to delay it, guess what? Who wins? The one who wants it wins, because it's their right. It's the right of both the husband and wife. However, they both can mutually agree, delay it if they like. And again, there are specific guidelines. And finally, the walima, highly recommended sunnah, sunnah mu'akkada, confirmed sunnah. You better have a very good reason to not do it. Again, technically, legally, it's not haram to not do the walima. However, because it's a sunnah muakkada, not doing walima is like leaving a major sunnah. And not to mention that not doing walima, I mean, if you want to make your wife happy, you should do walima. So these are the recommended, these 3 steps are done in this recommended order after the nikah. And here's a fun fact. The Arabic word for wedding is al-urs, and it includes the zifaf, consummation, and the walima. If you're interested in signing up for the course, you can do so at muslimmarriagecentral.com. And this chapter was taken from this textbook, The Rules of Love, the ultimate guide to marital success based on Quran, Sunnah, Fiqh, and psychology. To learn more, visit this website. والحمد لله رب العالمين والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.